it's just, it's funny how things work out.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Hello friend, welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I hope you're doing well, mate. I really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea News. Things are bubbling up in the background. Uncertainty, tensions out there in the transfer world. What's going to happen? Will Moises Casado put in a transfer request? Will he begrudgingly remain at Brighton? Will Chelsea get Romeo Lavia and gazump Liverpool for this desperate, it's rapidly becoming desperate scenario for the Chelsea midfield? And Callum HudsonAdoi, £4 million? £4 million. I kind of get it. I remember when Bayern Munich was going to pay £70 million. And this lad is 22 years old still. A lot has happened in this young man's short career so far. Wow, we were. We're going to get into all today. I'm going to assert my opinion to you, ask for yours, so I thank you for joining me. I think we're like nearly 175,000 subscribers. Incredible scenes. Thank you for your support. If you're yet to subscribe, I welcome you to hit the bell. Yeah? Before we talk about the midfield madness, let's have a moment to discuss Callum HudsonAdoi. I understand why he wants to go to Fulham. He's, of course, attracted many lots of interest from around Europe even. Of course, we know there's not just Maurizio Sarri's Lazio in Serie A. Of course, his former manager at Chelsea wants him. But, was it West Ham, Nottingham Forest, Everton? There's some other clubs as well were interested in him in the Premier League. He's look, I've said it here on the channel before, but I will repeat myself. If Reece James's father, who knows a good player, if you look at both his children that he's coached, he confirmed that Callum HudsonAdoi is the most talented prospect to come out of the Chelsea academy. He was mustard. I remember watching him in the bridge, just lighting it up, mate. He was the heir apparent to Eden Hazard, even though slightly different, a little bit more direct. Could he score more goals than Hazard? Just incredible, really. Of course, he went to Leverkusen on loan last season, rode the bench for the most part of the second part of the season. He actually played as a number 10 for a little while. And it's just so sad. Like, Bayern Munich saw him as their Jadon Sancho at the time, when Sancho was just coming through Dortmund and looking really good. There's this recognition that, these England lads who won the Under-17s World Cup, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, of course, Sancho, HudsonAdoi, they're all part of that. They looked at Callum HudsonAdoi, and German scouts knew their onions, as it were, and they wanted to get some of the British talent. And, since English play, Jamal Musiala, they got him, and he's been absolutely insane. Also from the Chelsea Academy. And they saw Callum HudsonAdoi as not only their version of Jadon Sancho. I know Jadon Sancho's gone off the boil since he came to England, but he was like one of the wonder kids in world football, and they thought HudsonAdoi was better than Jadon Sancho. So they offered a 1-year loan with a £70 million buy option. £70 million. And at the time, he must have been how old would he have been? 18 maybe? I don't know. Because he's 22 now. He would have signed, maybe he was 19 at a push. But that's incredible. Before, obviously, he wanted to go. He likes the idea. He saw what his bro Jadon Sancho was doing, and he was telling Chelsea, yeah, I want to go. And then we got Frank Lampard in, of course. Frank got in his ear and says, yeah, look, you're going to be part of the revolution. You're a key player. And then he said on 2 different occasions, HudsonAdoi, once signing a new long-term deal, Frank was the difference, maybe 120k a week helped, or nearly £130,000 a week, I believe. So this is one of the reasons why Chelsea would just be happy to absolve themselves of their wages and make a few quid back. But it's just testament to how highly rated this kid was. And when he signed a new deal and we could wave Bayern away, because as soon as he signed the new deal, Bayern was like, oh, okay, he's not going to come. Just absolutely, I was so excited, he'd come back from his injury, he'd signed the new deal, there was this wonder kid, the fact how Bayern wanted him sent alarms off for Chelsea fans, oh my god, he must be good. We know he's good, but Bayern want him, oh god, they want to pay 70 million for him, we're going to, idiots, we're going to sell our, jewel in the crown, our wonder kid. And yeah, man, and ultimately I was so gassed that he ultimately was staying at Chelsea, and it just didn't happen at all, did it? I mean, I'm not even sure what happened. Do you know what I mean? I'm like going back to I was really happy he signed. So what happened afterwards, and why did he never play? I have no idea. Like I don't know. Like I have no idea. We had Willian and Pedro for another year. Honestly, man, my brain is wiped of why. I guess more injuries. Still, whatever. It's incredible, really. Fulham have offered a £4 million package. Obviously, I imagine he'll almost certainly take a wage reduction at Fulham because he just simply won't get that. Not playing European football, not having the revenue. Fulham have got money as a club, but they can't be paying 22-year-olds 130k a week or whatever. So they will ultimately be I don't know, what would he take, like 70, maybe like just over half his current wage, but we're signing a long-term deal, and obviously only being 22, he could play for 5 years, like a whole deal, and then sign in his prime, sign another big bumper contract. So he's got plenty of time. Chelsea want 8 million quid for Callum HudsonAdoi. They've offered 4 million or 4.5. This deal will happen. It's a good move for Callum. He gets to stay in Fulham. Marco Silva plays good football. He'll start every game. He'll be seen in the Premier League. Eyes will be back on him. And if he does really well as a tricky winger, like a conventional winger on the right side, maybe Gareth Southgate will eventually have to take notice again. He's made his full England debut as a youngster as well. Let me know what you think. Let's move on. So, there's loads of ruddy headlines regarding Moises Casado. The player wants to go. Of course, he's pushing with his camp. He's, if you want to watch my unfiltered, potent opinion on that, please do consider watching yesterday's uploads. At least the evening one. That gives you my full, detailed reaction on what his perspective would be from Brighton rejecting £80 million from Chelsea. Which is incredible, really. I'm actually, of all the articles and headlines, I want to read some stuff from Football Fancast by a guy called Alex Connor, because he talks about Romeo, Lavia, and stuff like that. So let's jump into this and see what he's saying. Chelsea's midfield has undergone significant amount of change. Of course, we've lost Jorginho, Kovacic, Kante, Mount, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and of course, Conor Gallagher is also being targeted by Tottenham and West Ham. We've just rejected a £40 million bid, which is a lot. So he's probably got £45-50 million price tag on Gallagher. But he remains our senior midfielder. And it's really in the pivot options are just him and Enzo Fernandez. Mental at this point. Chelsea aren't in the best position to lose Gallagher, of course. As Enzo Fernandez and Carney, and with Carney Chukwuemeka as the only two central midfielders. But Carney, I'd argue, Gallagher playing in the double pivot, I'd argue Carney is even more just wants to be going towards goal. Like people talk about him as a number 10. People talk about Gallagher as maybe a number 10, but a number 8 as well. Whereas a 4-2-3-1 is kind of two. It's not just 2 6s like in for example, Tuchel's 3-4-3. The two midfielders, they're 2 6s because you got to compensate for a lot of space or whatever. Whereas in a 4-2-3-1, it's usually like a 6 and an 8 slightly. Like Frank Lampard did play in a double pivot for Chelsea. He's very much an 8. Do you know what I mean? So it can be done, but you can also get 2 sort of 6s if that makes sense. So I don't really want to see Gallagher or Chukwuemeka in a double pivot really, but you could say they could do it. So the pursuit of Moises Casado has been frustrating. Of course, we've had a 4th bid rejected for 75 plus 5, I believe, 80 million euros. So say for David Ornstein, which is a heavy amount of money. The fact how they've rejected that when they said to Caicedo he could go if they get a suitable bid. Well, he reportedly thought a suitable bid represents a record fee. Well, a record fee would only be like 63 million quid. So for them to reject 80 million, his camp is just in shock apparently. Yeah. So the West Londoners may be forced to resort to different targets as they still retain an interest in Romeo Lavia. According to Sasha Tavaliri, who I believe is a journalist. I'm just quickly going to double check that. Yeah, he is a Belgian journalist. Okay, well, Belgian player, checks out. Liverpool are trying to close in on a £45 million deal, but Chelsea are attempting the ultimate approach. ultimate approach. Your £45 million bid is a regular approach. Cower in our ultimate approach. And of course, Joe Shields is pressing for the move. Joe Shields is our co-sporting director who brought Lavia to Southampton from Man City Academy. I think he also worked at Man City and now wants to bring him to Chelsea. He wants him to just follow around. It was previously reported by The Athletic that Liverpool are making an improved bid and offer for the Southampton gem after having offered 37 million, and that's been shunned by the Saints. They do need to rebuild their midfield, Liverpool, of course. Jordan Henderson has made a controversial move to a Saudi club, of which they posted a promotional piece of video media of him playing all these games, and I think they black and whited out the LGBTQ armband that he always wears. And he's he's done so much work himself for for diversity and acceptance and all that kind of stuff. So controversial indeed. Yes, of course, Liverpool want to try buy Romeo Lavia. However, the report says Chelsea remain a firm interest and could have an advantage in the deal due to Shields' connection to the player. So The Athletic reporting, Ben Jacobs of CBS has reported that the player is bought into Liverpool project. Obviously, they've been spending some time to convince the youngster, and he's like, yeah, I'm down, Klopp. Bring me to Anfield, which fair enough is what happens. But they believe, there's reports here, believe that Chelsea can wiggle in with our relationship with him due to Shields. The 36-year-old was recruited from the South Coast outfit last summer as the club's co-director of recruitment and was leading figure in Lavia's move from Manchester City to Southampton. Yeah, like I said. So what position does Romeo Lavia play? This is what I wanted to read a little bit about to you guys, because, we've watched him in the Prem, but, is he the one? Do you know what I mean? He's obviously going to be a much cheaper and probably slightly less suitable option than Casado. But is he the one? So despite Southampton's abysmal season in which their 11-year stay in the top flight ended, the youngster emerged from the rubble with a prestigious reputation. He kind of had it even before. Lavia, who has been described as incredible by Pep Guardiola. Pause. Guardiola does this all the time, though. The way he latched onto Nathan Redmond, you would have thought he was Lionel Messi. So I don't really believe anything that Guardiola comes out with publicly. Has showcased his phenomenal ball player and a tenacious asset in midfield. Indeed, in 29 Premier League appearances, the Belgian averaged 2.1 tackles, that's good, and 86% pass accuracy, that's good considering he's playing for Southampton, and completed 68% of his dribbles, that's good. 2 out of 3 of his dribbles he's done, solid. Such stats are impressive, particularly considering only Enzo Fernandez and N'Golo Kante made more tackles per game of Chelsea's midfield last season. Yeah, but you're bringing in a guy to make Enzo do less tackles. I mean, you don't want Enzo doing tackles, and I don't know, Kante was doing his forward thing last season, getting forwards a lot as well, so it's tough, man. Yeah, if you look at comparatively, I believe Lavia's stats to Enzo, he just doesn't, to Casado, he just doesn't hold up, but he's still very young, and he's ultimately he's still got good stats, and he's been playing in a terrible team. That's something you got to really take into account, that the dysfunction of a relegated team is not going to make you look good. Arguably, winning the ball back is his standout trait, as Lavia was one of the only 3 under-21 players who won possession in the midfield third 100 plus times. He won 114 times to display how he excels in his age group. I'll be interested to know who the other 2 are, actually. Nevertheless, he's still extremely comfortable on the ball and holds a supreme technical quality. This has been echoed by Gene Kindermans, Anderlecht's head of academy, who said, quote, he's always calm on the ball. You can give it to him under pressure, and he will solve the problem. Touch to the Jorginho there, or prime Jorginho. Paul Scholes, of all people, has also recognised his all-round profile, adding, quote, he's a young player that can do both sides of the game, equally good defensively, but once he's on the ball, he's got tremendous feet and can pass it. Right. This article goes on to talk about Mohamed Kudus, which we're not doing in today's video. But we may do later. Of course, I'd recommend you keep it locked and turn the bell on. Yeah, Lavia. I think generally if we get one player in as soon as possible, we will be happy. Of course, he's another very, very young player, and we've got such a young midfield. I do worry about the profile of young, just having everyone being so young. But I said in previous uploads, I will reiterate, it would be funny just to walk away from Brighton and say, no, mate. Go buy Mohamed Kudus, their first choice forward transfer, and punish them for their silliness in this transfer window. And just get Romeo and Lavia in and just be done with it. Start coaching him with Pochettino. Go. Get things going. Make no bones about it, though. Casado remains Chelsea and Pochettino's first choice central defensive midfielder, and he would be the best option. Brighton know that, hence squeezing all the money they can. Personally, I would hate this if it was other clubs, but you've got to, be biased towards your own club. I would encourage Casado to kick up a fuss. And it's not like he's kicking up a fuss so they can sell him for nothing. Like I said before, it's not like leaving them stitched up. No, we're leaving them with £80 million. If you said to me at the end of last season with no context, look, Casado had a really good season. How much is, him, Declan Rice, everyone going to be sold for? I went, I'd probably go, Declan Rice would probably go for 90 million, even though he went for 105. And, Casado, he's really good. He should probably go for 50 million. And they want 100 million or over 100 million. But what do I know? Put out to you guys, what do you think? Talk about Callum HudsonAdoi, talk about Romeo Lavia, talk about Moises Casado. Obviously, stories will develop throughout the day. I will react to them here on the channel, so I look forward to seeing you back here as soon as you can get back here. Alright? Peace.